What's up, guys? Pop Punk Dad here. I'm doing a Zoom interview here with Graham from the band Hardcastle.
What's up?
What's up,
Good
man?
to be here.
So, you guys have had kind of like a weird, like, like breakup, go back together. Like you and Noah are kind of the only original guys in the band. Take me through kind of the history of the band.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So the band really started. I mean, I've been pursuing being in a band like since I can remember
I
being
see,
conscious,
I see
you
guitars,
know?
guitars and stuff behind both of us. I get it. Yeah.
Yeah. So the middle school band evolved into the high school band, evolved into the college band. And that when we dropped out of college at in Nashville, Tennessee at Belmont, we dropped out of Belmont. But I met Noah there, Val Hoyt, who was the original guitar player I had met in Atlanta, and Miles Laderman is my brother, and we had always been playing together.
Okay.
When we met Noah, we dropped out. That's when things really started. We put out I Never Knew, and things started happening for us as Hardcastle. And we did the Camino tour. We had stuff happening with Mundane, and it was such an amazing chapter of life. And when COVID hit, it I think obviously caught us all a bit off guard. We
Yeah.
all had to do some, and when I say we all, I mean like we all
The
as
whole
a
world.
as a like collective,
Yeah.
world had to do some evaluating and all that type of stuff. So at that point in time, we all decided to go our separate ways. And I remember a little bit after we came to that, I said, "Hey, is it okay if I continue on with Hardcastle? I don't know what it is, but it feels like something I need and want to do."
There's
And
something more here.
there's something more here,
Yeah.
and it's a part of my sense of myself that I want to, I don't know, continue. And so thankfully they all gave me their blessing, and
Yeah.
they're all doing really crazy cool stuff now. Val's on tour with Floor, and Miles tours with the Wildlife, and Noah tours with Grayscale. Like it's awesome.
That's
Um,
great. That's great.
yeah, so they're killing it, and we can get into that more. But anyways, Noah grew up out here, and he decided to move back to LA, right? So we were still in Nashville, and he was like, my move is moving back to LA. And I had always wanted to live in LA. And one thing led to the next. I decided to take that leap, knowing that I had a friend there, and got to LA, ended up living with Noah, and we were playing shows. I was trying to find myself, which we'll get into more, and playing different types of shows. But Noah's a legend. Like he was there for it
Yeah.
all, and still is, and thankfully been able to navigate that to now. And we've got some great new members that have we've connected with kind of serendipitously. Jason Puma on the drums, and Raul Murillo on guitar. And yeah, I think for now that's the pretty, it's a long summarization, but it is a summarization of
Yeah.
the journey of, the band.
You guys recently dropped this track called Hostage, which I've been digging, which dropped on Lagwagon Day on YouTube, May 16th. What's the
Right.
reception on that track been like?
It's been amazing, dude. I mean, I wasn't, it's such a, for me, it's such a honest like sonic offering, but I know it's a big switch up from the last release and kind of what was coming before. So to see people engaging with it in a way that feels like, okay, this is connecting,
Yeah.
no lost time. We're here, and on top of that, to have it be something that I feel so represented by is just like I couldn't ask for anything better.
Speaking of that track, I gotta call this like the Avengers team of people that have worked on
Right.
Hostage.
That's right.
And so like so we got Mark Needman who mixed it. He worked on Candlebox, Imagine Dragons, The Killers, Dolly Parton, Howie Weinberg. Fix me if I'm messing up any of these words. Mastered Public Enemy. He worked with Nirvana, Smashing Pumpkins. Rob Cavallo, correct?
Cavallo, yeah.
Cavallo produced Green Day, Linkin Park, My Chemical Romance, and then we got Mark McKee, engineer, who worked with Steve Perry from Journey, and literally an Avenger, Jeremy Renner.
Yeah, literally an Avenger. Yeah.
So like, how that whole like team come about? Like, how this all come about?
Yeah. So after a while moving out here, Rob heard one of my songs and sent it to his Done Deal Management, which is his and his sister's company,
Okay.
Lisa Cavallo. Yeah, Done Deal Management. And Lisa immediately jumped on it and was like really into it. And eventually we got lunch and they were like, we want to work with you. So we started working together. And at that point in time, there was none of this music had been written. I had written a whole different batch of music and I was still finding myself. And then we started having A&R sessions where I would go and play the music for Rob and get this feedback. And that in and of itself was like, you know,
Yeah.
out of body experience. Just sitting in his living room, like playing this song and talking about it. And then I wrote Hostage with Fakayo Tahi and Davis Naish, also amazing writers and producers here in LA and longtime friends of mine. And okay, we're onto something. And then I started writing more and then eventually we got to this point where I had most of the EP written and Rob was like, okay, well, we gotta get a producer. Like, I mean, I'll
Yeah.
do it. I'll do it. I
Yeah.
was
Why
like,
not?
I mean, yeah. And from there, I had worked with Mark McKee on Space Case and No Resolve. He's
Oh,
a
cool.
writer on
Cool.
both of those songs, and Mark's just the best. He's always been such a uplifter and supporter of me and my vision and music, and uh, so he came into engineer, and Mark Needham came through Rob. They've worked together a bunch, you know, throughout the years, and he works on a few other projects. Pretty Ugly is another band on Done Deal's roster that he's been doing some mixes for, and they're great. And then Howie too came from actually Mark. Mark Needham was like, Howie's been killing my masters, and I was like, yes, please.
Yeah.
That
Right.
sounds
Right.
great. So yeah, just very thankful, and it's all been very through the music, which is my biggest thing. It's all about the music, and it's all about this journey that we go on through our love for music. And I know yours too. You know, you do this because you love music. So
It's all
that's
about
what it's
the.
all about.
It's all about that. It's all about the grind. You know, it really,
Yeah.
really is. Just
The
keeping at it.
experience. Yeah,
You know.
dude. Yeah. So
Yeah. If you quit today, you never know what tomorrow will bring.
yeah, totally. And just being in line with that sort of thing that music I know gave me when I was a kid, it just like totally connected me to something beyond and reconnecting to that and then getting to have these experiences that are literally dream come true,
Yeah.
you know, experiences. So
Wish It Was You was the first time I actually ever heard of Hardcastle. It was like right in the middle of the pandemic, and
right.
there was so much like weird stuff I was just listening to,
Wow.
and I was just pulling up stuff on Spotify, and like everybody's depressed, and everybody's just like, I'm
Yeah.
stuck at home, I can't do anything. Um, so going with that, is there anything that like stood out about previous stuff that you'd want to bring to future Hardcastle stuff, or is there anything, because you said that you used to do, like, you've done music forever,
Right.
are there any songs that you've written in previous projects or as you have on a back burner that you'd like to like bring up from the Phoenix?
I have this dream, this long, there's no time limit on this dream, but it's a dream where maybe I'm a couple records deep and I sit down with you know, whoever's producing it, you know, maybe Rob, like, and they go, I want you to go and bring me all the voice memos and demos and everything you've ever done. We're gonna sit there and we're gonna listen through and we're gonna finish these because I have so
Preaching,
many.
preaching to the choir. Like
Yeah,
yeah,
it's real, dude.
I have two kids, and I show them like how long it's been going on. I have
Mhm.
notebooks upon notebooks in my closet, and on some of the backs of some of them are like postulates from math homework. Like there's math
Yeah,
homework, and then on the other
yeah.
side there's like there's
Hmm.
lyrics to stuff, and it's like, guys, this has been
Hmm.
going on forever. This isn't just like some fad or
No,
whatever that's been going on. Like
no.
I've been doing this forever, dude.
Truly. Yeah,
Yeah,
no, it's and you keep it in the back of your mind, this is gonna come through one day.
yeah,
And eventually it will,
it
but
will.
you never, you never
Yeah.
it's kind of like a mountain in the mind of there's so much to sift through.
Yeah. And there's so many like dreams and like there's a main quest and there's so many side quests you
Oh
want to
yeah. Oh, totally. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
on your YouTube bio, "Breaking the Circuit" is the working
Yes.
title for the upcoming Hardcastle project. It's listed as a TBA project on some of the other websites and
Yeah.
stuff. Did I just ruin something, or is it
No,
still
no,
called
no.
"Breaking the Circuit"? Or is there a new title in works?
I just simplified it to circuit.
Okay,
And the reason that it was breaking the circuit for a while is that's the kind of the I think it's the through line of the record, and it's also kind of the tagline of the song circuit. And that's what this EP is in the spirit of, you know, breaking out of a cycle or breaking some sort of
habit.
habit or system or pattern or circuitry or,
Yeah,
breaking the matrix, if you
and getting
will.
in,
I
yeah,
mean,
getting into a new mindset.
yeah, right, right. Transcending
Yeah,
something that once defined you by default, that you realize you have some level of agency to break out of.
yeah.
So that's where breaking the circuit came from. And then, I just wanted to simplify it down to just circuit. So
I got you. I got you. Now,
yeah.
is that gonna be EP, LP? What are you guys working on?
EP. So this is going to be a 6-song EP. When I was making it, and I still feel this way, I would just like calling it a record. And I
Yeah,
imagine I'm back in the day, and side A has 3 songs, and side B has 3 songs, and
yeah.
there's a thing you can open, and you're looking. That's really how I picture it. But in this digital age, it's an EP.
Yeah, yeah, I know.
That's how they
I
classify it.
I think the same way. I've got record players and CD players, and my kid doesn't even know how to use a CD player.
hmm
She doesn't even know how to push the button and put the CD in.
hmm
Like that's I feel so old.
I remember the CDs well, especially in the car. I was the other day, I was like, I low-key wish that my car had a CD player because that'd be kind of rad. Like just
Yeah,
listen to a CD top down.
I had the books that you had to like flip
hmm
through and put it in,
hmm
and even when all that stuff came out, like I still had junker cars driving around, so I
hmm
was stuck with that. And hey, cassettes are coming back around,
Cassettes
so
are coming back. Yeah,
yeah,
it's true.
I
It's
see
true.
I see them at a lot of shows. That's like a big thing. It shows
Right.
bands are selling that, and vinyls a whole lot. So
We'll wait another 10 or 15 years and CDs will be hot.
A tracks again too. See, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Totally.
Um, uh, so compared to the other Hardcastle works you've done in the past, what is different about this new stuff moving forward? You were talking about like this is breaking the circuit, this is breaking into
Yeah.
something new. What's new about it? What's different about it?
I'll just speak for myself here because, again, those records really were the 4 of us at that time coming together. So, just speaking for myself, I felt a lot of pop inclination, especially as the years went on, to try to conform to something or be in a lane that was working for the people around me that I really, really wanted to be accepted for. But
Mm.
I think there was a level of dissonance there that ultimately came through and led to getting to a place where I really had to rediscover myself, which is what's new about this record. It's a total return to center to the kid in the backseat of my dad's car, hearing There's Nothing Left to Lose for the first time, listening to the album On Your Shirt, actually.
I love
Like
AFI. Sing the
AFI is
sorrow.
so, yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
man.
So it's a total return to that, and me saying I'm just gonna connect to what I connect to and find and use my voice however left of center that is, and just honor the stuff that really originally got me into music and just follow that follow my instincts, follow my heart. And yeah, that's that's it. No expectation. Like
Yeah.
just offer that, and I would say that is what's different. I mean, I've always pursued this, I believe, like honestly and authentically. However, I think there were different things in the mix at different times that I've had to literally fight through to retain my good relationship to music, if
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, going off of that, with influences and things, I hate the influences question because every interviewer asks that. But what are some of like the craziest influences that you have that when writing stuff, most of your fans would be like, I don't wouldn't pick up on that unless he would say it.
Well, that's a good question. I
Yeah.
like that. Maybe you would. The first thing that jumps to mind is I was really into this band, Red Jumpsuit Apparatus. Do you know them?
Yeah. So going back to we were talking
Yeah.
off camera about the Four Chord Festival.
Uh-huh.
They're doing the pre-show. They're playing the free pre-show here in
Oh,
Pittsburgh.
no way.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, yeah.
Well, that song, Your Guardian Angel,
Yeah. I love that
dude,
song.
that's one of my favorite songs, and I recently rediscovered it and reconnected with it, and I think that the voicings and the chords and that sort of like energy it channels really left a mark on me. So I'd say that one, and then other stuff I've been rediscovering is like Motion City soundtrack and
They're
like,
playing Four Chord too. I'm just shouting
dude,
out
it
Rishi
sounds
here.
like, I mean, shout out for like
Yeah,
great
yeah,
curation
yeah,
there.
yeah.
So just a lot of those. And there's this band Maritime that I rediscovered that's very, very, it's a little
Maritime.
bit different sonically, but just some really deep cuts like that. And then I was a huge Elliott Smith fan. Like I
Love
am,
Elliott
but
Smith. Yeah.
was like sitting up until 4 a.m. in middle school or whatever, like unreleased Elliott Smith YouTube, like in every song. So those are just a few, but it
I
runs
love
deep for sure.
I definitely love Motion City soundtrack. I've got a ton of keyboards behind me.
Hmm.
The band that I played in high school, I was really into them and Rush, so I played like keyboard
Yeah.
and bass, and
Oh yeah.
we had like a synth pop punk thing going on. So like I'm totally digging that. The red
That's
jumpsuit thing,
awesome.
I actually interviewed those guys a few years ago. I went
No
bowling with them.
way.
Yeah, I
No
went
way.
right, and that was the whole COVID thing. Right before COVID, I was doing a ton of interviews, and then
Yeah.
that whole thing went
Yeah.
down. Um,
Yeah.
with kind of a follow up to the follow up of that question, if you could do a collab with like, I mean, you already got Rob on your belt, but I'm talking about already like if on the record singing, playing like a guest spot on the record. If you could have anybody, maybe like two or three, who
Yeah.
would you pick?
So there's one that is awesome, and everyone should go look up her band. There's this band called Madre Blue, and
Okay,
it's an Italian band from, I believe, like the 2000s, 90s. And the front woman is this woman, Raffaella De Stefano, who puts out amazing music now. And I was watching The Sopranos one day. I didn't finish it, but it was like that big moment where there was like, I feel like a lot of people were watching it. I don't know. I was one of them, but it was like this song came on and I was like, this is insane. And there wasn't even lyrics yet. And I Shazammed it and I sent it to Lisa, my manager, and she found Rafaela and connected us.
wow.
I'm serious. The Madre Blues music is insane. It's crazy. And anyways, so we wrote a song together. And so I'm kind of speaking this into existence now. I'm excited for that collaboration
Awesome.
to happen and more with her. So definitely everybody go check out Madre Blue. But that would definitely be one of them. I'd love to do something with Daniel Lanois. Like I think that would be a dream come true, to do something with him because he produced a lot of U2's stuff, and I'm a really big U2 fan. And yeah, those are a couple people I'd love to work with.
You guys do definitely give off of that arena rock vibe.
Man, thank you.
It's like real big. You guys have a huge sound for having a four piece. Do you guys in the studio, do you have any like crazy instruments in the moment that you throw on the record that you're like, I just want to put this in here for fun? You guys have
Yeah,
any
I'm
of
a
those moments?
big proponent of the weird in the moment, off the wall sound
Yeah.
stuff. On this record, some songs like Space Case is uh it's two guitars, drums and bass and some
Okay.
vocals. That's it. No, nothing else, which is was important. Like, and the guitars are all one takes. It's like
Wow.
a whole performance. And that was very important to me doing this record because I wanted to go, that's
Raw.
very anti what I've been a part of and all that type of stuff.
I
And
get
that's
that.
what I want to do.
I totally get that.
But then Circuit, I sat with Rob for hours in the studio figuring out, if like this this glockenspiel part that's blended with this synth thing, but it's like from this Triton 90s synth that is a sound from that. And then these different string arrangements and whatnot. And
I know exactly what you're talking about.
yeah.
My brother and I doing a record together. It was like hours.
Hmm.
We were using Logic and just going through different patches and
Yeah.
then putting different sounds together, or
Yep.
different heads with different cabinets, different
Yeah.
chords with different, different cables. It
That's
just
what's a little lost in some
yeah,
arenas of making music in my outside of pop music, because I think pop music really lends itself well to
yes, absolutely.
modern techniques. But I know I was like totally detached from that, and it's so fun. It's so fun. And I had this in this one of the first days we were in the studio when I heard the through the monitors the guitar. I was like, oh my God, like we're literally pushing air out of the speaker head into the microphone, and it's capturing this physical, it's like physics. It's nuts.
Yeah.
It's real. And you're capturing it. And that just totally you know, flipped a switched a flip. I don't know.
Yeah. No,
Whichever one it is.
I no, I
It turned me on. Now it's like, I don't want to, I don't want anything but that.
it definitely turned
That's awesome.
yeah, it definitely turned a knob. That's what it did.
Yeah, that's what it did. 211.
Yeah, 211, man.
Yeah.
No, that's totally rad. Going back to talking about the whole COVID thing, you being even being in the studio, going on tour, just everything in general. Um, what were some of the obstacles that you had to face, like as a musician, smack dab in the middle of that? Because I mean, it hit us pretty hard, and you
Yeah.
guys, I mean, everyone went on ghost mode as soon as that hit. I
Yeah.
mean, there were some
Yeah.
musicians that kind of they went online and stuff, but nobody was touring. Nobody was putting. I mean, some people
Right.
were putting out music and stuff, but what was that like? And then also, how did you get out of it? Like, how was it? How do you get out of that funk?
Right. Yeah. That's a really good question. I think at the beginning, everyone was so disoriented, and there were always all these like new like TikTok, and it compounded like, how are we going to get out there? And
Yeah,
it was like this visceral, like, this isn't going to stop me type of thing. And which was good because that came out through Wish It Was You and Buckhead, and being
yeah,
this, we all lived together at the time. And we were, I mean, I'm very fortunate. Like, COVID impacted people in a vast array, and some of it is very dark and intense. And I'm very thankful that my struggles were more mental or whatever, you know what
right.
I mean? Like,
Yeah, yeah,
it's don't want to take that too lightly, but yeah, so we were doing different TikToks and things like that, and then it just kept going on. And I think I remember we moved houses, and my brother moved into a different house, and things just evolved within this bubble. And I think it sort of, for me, I was being confronted with a lot of beyond the band, like dissonance in my life. And I was dealing with a lot of, I think, built up toxicity from I was comparing myself and all these kind of negative things that I just didn't have. I was just sitting in, it was like
yeah.
consuming.
You're stuck. You're
And
stuck in your own head. Really, there's no outlet
right,
to get you out of your own head.
totally. And out of the bubble, because you can't see other,
Yeah,
you're like in this little bubble, and you're like, It's weird.
The
And
same three or four people. Sometimes, I feel bad for the people that had to live alone. They had
oh my
nobody.
God. Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean it's weird and it's subversive and it's like sometimes you're conscious and sometimes it's unconscious things that get built up that
Yeah.
hit a breaking point.
Some of the crazy art that came out of that era, though, like look at what Bo Burnham came up with.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's insane. But yeah,
Yeah. I know I need to make some really big life
yes.
evaluations and then getting out of it. I mean, I took this leap of faith to LA where it was like very daunting. I had just completely restarting in a way.
What year was that?
That was 20, that was like October 2021, I want to say.
Whoa. Yeah. So
So
it was
basically
still,
2022. It was not as intense, but it was
yeah,
still
going
a
on.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the first year I was like really lost, dude. I mean, I remember I did therapy for a little while and I just remember having this conversation where um my therapist was like, yeah, you just need to find your path again. And that really was what it was. Like I was on a path for a while and then I looked up and I was in the middle of
The woods.
nowhere, the woods. I was like,
Yeah.
what? And up was down and down was up and so what helped me get through that was a lot of journaling. I started writing. I went and saw different museums. I went to the beach. I really got to give credit to this book, The Artist's Way, that I took pretty seriously for a while. And for anyone out there maybe relating this, like it's a really, really good resource. And it has you do journaling in the morning, and it has you going to like a museum or the like a nature preserve something once a week by yourself
It's like an
to
artist self-help book, kind of.
yeah, yeah. And what I really got out of it was reconnecting to wonder as a concept and joy and like not, and I just was so cynical and I was so toxified and like I was ready to just judge everything. And I needed to get into a place of like, oh my God, I can't believe
I get
this
it.
exists, you know? And then I went to McCabe's and
Ah,
I bought an acoustic guitar, which is not, it's in its case right now, but and then I finally started writing again. And that just started as such a small little glimpse and then evolved. So that definitely it was definitely an active engagement in not giving up on myself, even like on my artistic ambitions, even when I literally could not see the light of
yeah.
day.
No, I mean, I bet every single, at least artist musician can definitely identify with at least one thing from what you said. I mean, there was so
It's real,
much.
dude.
Yeah.
It's real.
No, I mean that's pretty much that's pretty much it. I mean, like there was so much going on for everyone, and then there was so much nothing going on for everyone.
Yeah,
And it's like as an artist, your only job is to create, and then when you can't,
right. Or you have things that you're getting in your own way of
right,
creating. Like I think so much maybe before this transition, I just thought you do this show, you do this thing, you do this thing, and that leads to this thing, and
right.
then you become the thing that you have in your mind.
But what
And it's
happens when that
all
gets cut off?
right. What happens when that doesn't go to plan? And then you're in the spiritual, psychological realm. And I was not prepared for that. I was
Yeah,
always like on a warpath of sort of the physical side of things of like this show, this thing. And I didn't even know that that could
happen.
wreak the
Yeah.
havoc that it did.
And then
And
when the thing
right.
happens, you're like, it'll only be a couple months, it'll only be a couple weeks, and then you're like
Uh-huh.
a year, two
And then you look at
years.
yourself in the mirror and you're like, oh, dude, I don't even know like
What?
where
Yeah,
I am anymore.
right.
So I would say with that, just the importance of sort of like acknowledging there is this sort of um, internal side to music
Yes,
beyond the career side of it that
yes,
I had to learn about.
100%.
Yeah.
Lastly, I got what's next
Yes.
for Hardcastle? What's next for you guys? I know you've got Circuit coming up.
Yes.
Tour. Go ahead, give the plug.
The plug, yeah. Well, we're going out in June to do a few shows with this artist Carson a day, and we're going to San Diego, SLO, and Sacramento.
Sweet.
So just a little up the coast thing. And then not really at a place to say the next LA thing, but it's going to be awesome. And it's
Okay.
going to be in a few months, and it's going to be a big celebration for the record. Beyond that, hopefully, fingers crossed, doing some more touring as the record comes out and into the end
Sweet.
of the year, because that's the ultimate goal. But yeah, more music. Music's coming out. We just started this new chapter. It's really only the beginning, and I'm so excited to. We have a bunch of music videos. We have a whole world to bring everyone into. So that's what's up. That's what's next.
I definitely can't wait to see what's next. This has been the Pop Punk Dad with Graham from Hardcastle. Check them all out in the stuff below.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
Later,
much for having me on here.
later man.
Peace.